Day 7 of the Ukraine invasion, Moscow is getting desperate, it seems. Russia is pushing for a swift end to this conflict. It wants to crush the Ukrainian forces. Just look at these pictures. In the last 24 hours, Russia has bombed a TV tower. It was a deadly explosion in the heart of Kiev. An explosion that put Ukrainian television stations off air. The disruption was temporary. The bombing did not stop after that, though. Here's what happened later. Close to Kiev, a Russian tank was moving through a quiet neighborhood. Someone was trying to capture a video. The Russian tank fired right at them. Russia has intensified the bombing of Ukraine. It is also claiming control of a major city. Is Moscow gearing up to install a puppet regime in Ukraine? Russia has co-opted a former Ukrainian president, a president who was always thought to be close to Russia. Where is this conflict going? Let's begin with the very latest. Ukraine is bracing for a major escalation. The Russian military is getting more aggressive. Government buildings are now being targeted, especially in Kharkiv, which is Ukraine's second largest city, where an Indian student died yesterday. Kharkiv was pounded again today. A barrage of air and rocket strikes destroyed government offices. The fighting in Kharkiv is going to get worse. Russian paratroopers have landed in the city. The government of India made an urgent appeal today. All Indians have been asked to leave Kharkiv by 6 p.m. local time. We hope they made out safely. In the south, Russia has claimed control of Kherson. It is right next to Crimea. And this place is of strategic value to Russia. It links Crimea with mainland Ukraine. And from there, the Russian forces can put more pressure on the Ukrainian forces. But Russia's claims are being contested. Kherson's mayor says Russia controls just two assets, a railway station and a port. The mayor put up a post on Facebook. It said, "We are still Ukraine, still firm." Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, said Russia is trying to erase his country.
It is beyond humanity. This rocket strike proves that for many people in Russia, our Kiev is absolutely foreign. They don't know a thing about our capital, about our history. But they all have orders to erase our history, erase our country, erase us all.
The challenges for Zelensky are growing by the day. Can the Ukrainian state survive the Russian onslaught? Moscow's intent is becoming clear. This invasion is not just about taking territory. The Kremlin also wants to control Ukraine's government. How are they going to do that? By installing a pro-Russian leader. And Moscow is said to have identified the right candidate for this job, the former president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych. Yanukovych is said to be in Minsk right now, the capital of Belarus. He was ousted in 2014, remember, after the violent Euromaidan protests. Yanukovych then fled to Russia. And now Russia plans to bring him back to Ukraine. Reports say Yanukovych is being prepared for a special operation. An attempt could be made to reinstall him as Ukraine's president. And Kiev is taking these warnings seriously. Just today, Ukraine claimed it gunned down a group of Chechen assassins. Kiev says they were plotting to kill Volodymyr Zelensky. And this comes on a day when Russia invited Ukrainian diplomats for another round of talks. They met for the first time on Monday, remember. Nothing came out of that meeting. Russia has made sweeping demands from Ukraine. Moscow wants Ukrainian troops to lay down their arms. It wants Ukraine to demilitarize. It's a tall ask for Kiev. Yesterday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made an appearance at the United Nations Human Rights Council. But just before he began his speech, more than 100 diplomats from 40 countries staged a walkout.
прозвучавший на этот счет безответственно.
Outside, the diplomats rallied around the Ukrainian envoy to the United Nations Human Rights Council. The support is encouraging, but Ukrainians do realize that they have to arm themselves for the long haul. Kiev is expected to receive more missiles from the West, plus another consignment of Turkish drones. Russian forces are closing in on Kiev. The city's mayor says they're bracing for the offensive.
The enemy is pulling its troops closer to the capital. Bila Serkva was shelled last night. Fighting continued in Buka and Hostomel. We are getting ready and we will defend our city.
Russia began this invasion a week ago. So far, Ukraine has managed to defend itself. But Kiev now faces a big challenge. Intense fighting is underway in 4 key cities, and the outcome of this war could be decided in these 4 cities. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.